A blessed day to you all. My name is Lino from Sydney, Australia. Welcome to Pathways of Hope. Please allow me to share my reflections from today's Gospel. We read about trees bearing fruit. Let me start by saying that all fruit-bearing trees were created to bear fruit. We are no different in the sense that we all have been created for a purpose. We all need to understand and live out God's purpose for our lives. As students, that may be to make the most of your youth, to be formed in God's ways, and developing strong brotherly and sisterly relationships with other young men and women. As young professionals, this may be to be God's witness in the workplace and to use the blessing of resources available to you towards building the church. As married men and women, it may be to be good fathers, mothers, husbands, and wives to our loved ones, being a light to the world and a salt of the earth. The Gospel also talks about bearing good or bad fruits. In the corporate world, we often ask ourselves, what does success look like? What does it mean to bear good or bad fruit? For us Christians, success or bearing fruit is not measured in terms of what we have achieved. Not in terms of how many likes or shares we might have had in our social media platform. Not in terms of how much wealth we have accumulated or titles we have put in our name. Not in terms of recognition received from others, nor even in how successful we may have been in the mission field. I believe bearing fruit is fulfilling God's purpose for our lives. Bearing fruit is using all the gifts and capabilities made available to us towards building His church here on earth, in whatever field or terrain we might have been planted in. Yes, bearing fruit even with the ugly barks we may bear, pains from broken branches, or damages sustained through the storms. Bearing fruit, loving God with all our heart, soul, strength, and mind. Bearing fruit until we are all called home. Brothers and sisters, we are all called to bear fruit. That is, fulfilling God's purpose for our lives. May you all have a blessed day.